Welcome back to another episode of From the Desk. I have a very important update for you regarding a story that we brought to you back in November of 2024. This was about three people who were charged by the Toronto police with 17 counts of mischief. The three are accused of going up and down a Toronto neighborhood, spray painting and stenciling "Fuck Gaza" in a Yiddish typeface on City of Toronto property. This was written on sidewalks, transit stops, and on planters. Apparently, for Noam Lambden, Brenda Hoffman, and Robert S. Walker, this level of decimation does not satiate their sadism. For them, Gaza is not sufficiently fucked. They would like to see it fucked even more. I recommend watching our From the Desk on this back in November so you can get a really good background on the anti-Palestinian racism that this community was awashed in. Now, the reason I wanted to update you on this was because it was easy to identify Noam Lambden, Brenda Hoffman, 71, but Robert S. Walker, 39. That is the person I was most interested in. And that's because an organization that bills itself as Israel's media watchdog here in Canada, probably one of the most Orwellian named organizations, Honest Reporting, also has an assistant director named Robert Walker. And so the question was, is this the same Robert S. Walker charged with 17 counts of mischief? Is this the same Robert S. Walker accused of going up and down a Toronto neighborhood writing "Fuck Gaza" 17 times? So, like all good journalists, I reached out to Honest Reporting Canada, and the last time being January 6th, and I've heard nothing back from them. So I figured the only way to really tell if this is the same Robert S. Walker was to appear in court on the day that Robert was supposed to appear in court. January 3rd, 2 p.m. And so I did. I made sure to be there, room 202, Ontario Court of Justice, at 2 p.m. Robert Walker's name was there on the docket, and it said that he was to appear in person. I was eagerly awaiting the arrival of Robert S. Walker when the Crown Attorney informed the courtroom that Walker was not going to appear and that his interim counsel had requested disclosure and that the case would be held over till January 24th. Robert S. Walker was a no-show, so we couldn't verify, right? Wrong. Listening in on Zoom that day in the courtroom was a woman named Leah Walker. Now, weeks before this court case, I found a couple of photos on the Facebook page of Robert Walker from Honest Reporting. And it was of him and his wife, and her name is Shauna Leah Walker. So that was my first peel. Second, when court adjourned that day, I went up to the court office and requested the filings on the Walker case, which I have with me here. In this document is the address of Robert Samuel Walker. And because I've got the address of Robert Samuel Walker, I had someone do a search for me. And the owners of this said address are Robert Samuel Walker and a woman named Shauna Leah Walker. So I feel pretty confident now in confirming that the Assistant Director of Honest Reporting Canada is the same Robert S. Walker accused of 17 counts of mischief. And according to his LinkedIn, he was also the former Director of Communications for the Israeli Embassy here in Ottawa. So why do I have so much interest in verifying this? Well, Honest Reporting Canada is no ordinary organization. It refers to itself as, quote, an independent grassroots organization promoting fairness and accuracy in Canadian media coverage of Israel. End quote. Now, many people may not know what honest reporting actually does. What they actually do is harass and target journalists and media outlets that report truthfully on Israel's actions. So much so that JSource has asked journalists to report incidents of harassment from honest reporting for their Canada Press Freedom Project. Now, what makes this all the more significant is that editors and managers and ombudspeople across Canada treat this organization as some sort of good faith actor instead of the thugs that they actually are. Honest Reporting's model is basically based on annoyance. They pester newsrooms and send out what they call action alerts to their automatons. They run multiple campaigns at the same time, and they fill the mailboxes and emails of executive producers and editors across Canada. As journalists who pitch on Palestine, I can tell you that I have often heard, I really like the pitch, but I don't want to deal with all the letters. And that's why their pestering is successful. The paperwork that they create alone for managers is a massive headache. And a reminder that this organization has charitable status here in Canada. Now, it's important to point out also that Honest Reporting Canada right now has an action against it asking for the Canada Revenue Agency to investigate their work here in Canada. This is why it was so imperative for me to point out who Robert S. Walker actually was. It's not very charitable to be accused of doing what Robert S. Walker is accused of. And full disclosure, since 2018, I've become a favorite target of Honest Reporting's and its model. They even came after me once for having a guest on my show at CBC. This is a food show, who said hummus is a Palestinian dish. Honest Reporting called the show anti-Semitic because of that. Here's what they wrote in their action alert. Quote, framing Israel as having engaged in tacit hummus washing only serves to delegitimize Israel and Jewish indigeneity in their historic homeland. This CBC program denied Jewish indigeneity. End quote. They won't even let Palestinians have hummus. This was a very successful show on CBC Podcast. And reminder, it was a food show that I created called Unforked. And I will list the link in the description of this program. It did really well, but for some reason, CBC didn't renew it for a second season. I wonder why. Now, it's important also to point out that it's not just journalists that Honest Reporting targets for harassment. It's anyone and everyone that dares speak on Israel's crimes. One of Honest Reporting's latest depravities, and I use that term purposefully, depravity, also again involves their assistant director, Robert Walker. Meet Dr. Kavita Algu. She is a respected palliative care doctor and lecturer at the University of Toronto. Back in December, Dr. Algu wrote a very thoughtful opinion piece in the Toronto Star about the Canadian medical establishment's silence regarding the decimation of Gaza's healthcare system. Naturally, this article made her a target for Honest Reporting, who launched an action alert against her and the Toronto Star. Now, please put that action alert up in full screen here. As you can see here, Robert Walker is listed as the writer of the piece. Now, the depravity of this action alert comes from the photo, because this is the original photo of Dr. Algu that Honest Reporting took from an article she wrote in Spring magazine. Honest Reporting then photoshopped that original photo to give Dr. Algu breasts, cleavage, and an exposed bra. What are you doing? Why are you so creepy and depraved? Anyway, people online started calling Honest Reporting out on the photo and their perverted Photoshop. So Honest Reporting did this. They changed the photo to remove the bra and boobs. And the other important thing is that they removed Robert Walker as the writer of the action alert and simply put, written by Honest Reporting Canada. And here's the note they added after they changed it. Quote, the original image to this alert did not meet Honest Reporting's editorial standards and has since been removed. This is an organization that has charitable tax status here in Canada. This is an organization that offers $1,000 to students across this country at universities to spy on campuses, to spy on professors, to spy on other student groups and report back to Honest Reporting. Here's what you'll expect it to do for that $1,000. Attend virtual media bias workshops, monitor your local campus media, proactively submit opinion commentaries and press releases to steer the conversation about Israel, and create and share pro-Israel content on social media. All for $1,000. These are the folks who are running to the deans and provosts and filing complaints and telling everyone that they don't feel safe on university campuses across this country. On the Line Media will be back in the courtroom on January 24th, 2025. We will update you again on this case, and hopefully Robert Pokaroo Walker will have the guts to show up this time.